Hello everyone, I Rajeshwari Shirkanhalli welcome you all in Nagesh Karasgi Orchid School channel. In the last session, we started with chapter number 15, Some Natural Phenomena. As I have already told, in this chapter we are going to discuss about two destructive phenomena. They are lightning and earthquakes. So, in the last session we started with lightning. We have discussed about the concept of lightning. What is exactly meant by lightning? It is nothing but production of electric sparks, but on a very huge scale. After that, we have seen that the charges are developed by rubbing. We have also discussed the types of charges. There are two types of charges, positive and negative. Now, in this session, we are going to discuss how these charges get transferred from one object to another object. After that, we will see the story of lightning and the precautions which we have to take to protect ourselves during lightning. Okay, so we will begin with the next concept, that is transfer of charge. So, to understand this, here an activity is given, that is activity 15.4. In this activity, you have to take an empty jam bottle. Okay, you can use any empty plastic bottle. Take a piece of cardboard slightly bigger in size than the mouth of the bottle. Pierce a hole in it so that a metal paper clip could be inserted. So, here you have to take a cardboard which should be slightly bigger in the size than the mouth of the bottle, and you have to make a hole in that cardboard, and then you have to use a metal paper clip. You have to insert it through that hole. Open out paper clip as shown in the figure. Cut two strips of aluminium foil. Then you have to use aluminium foil. You have to cut two strips of aluminium foil about 4 into 1 centimeter each. Hang them on the paper clip as shown. Insert the paper clip in the cardboard lid so that it is perpendicular to it. It is all shown here in the figure 15.4. Charge a refill and touch it. So, look at this figure carefully. This is a plastic bottle, any empty jam bottle or anything you can use, but it should be transparent because you are going to observe from outside. This is a cardboard which is bigger in size as compared to this mouth of the bottle. So, you can place this cardboard sheet very easily on the mouth of the bottle. One hole you have to make, here you can see the hole, and through this you have to insert a metal paper clip, and to this you have to attach two aluminium foils. Okay. Then you have to take a refill, charge it by rubbing on the polythene, and then you have to touch that refill to this free end of the metal paper clip. Okay. Observe what happens. Is there any effect on the foil strips? Do they repel each other or attract each other? In this case, you can see that the metal clip gets charge because of touching of this refill, isn't it? Refill is rubbed on the polythene, means charges are produced on the refill. Now, when you touch this refill to the metal paper clip, then the charges get transferred from refill to the metal paper clip. Okay. Touch now other charged bodies with the ends of paper clip. Now, after that, instead of refill, you have to take some other charged objects and touch to this metal paper clip. Do foil strips behave in the same way in all cases? Can this apparatus be used to detect whether a body is charged or not? Can you explain why the foil strips repel each other? So first, what happens when you touch that refill, as I have told that the charges get transferred to the metal paper clip, and because of that the aluminum foil, they repel each other. After that, instead of refill, you can use some other objects and do the same activity. Now here, why the aluminum foils get repelled? Because the aluminum foil strips receive the same charge from the charged refill through the paper clip. Remember that metals are good conductors of electricity. That is why here it is insisted to use a metal paper clip, okay, so that they can carry the charges which are there on the refill, and here these charges are carried to the aluminum foils from refill through metal paper clip. So here the aluminum foil strips receive the same charge. Whatever the charge is there on the refill, the same charge is received by the aluminum foils. So the strips carrying similar charges repel each other and they become wide open, means they move away from each other. So they become wide open. You can see here in this figure. Such a device can be used to test whether an object is carrying charge or not. So this device is called as electroscope. So here the activity which we have discussed is nothing but making a simple electroscope. Now for what electroscope is used? It is used to test whether an object is carrying charge or not carrying charge. Thus, we find that electrical charge can be transferred from a charged object to another through a metal conductor. So here the electric charge got transferred from refill to the aluminum foil through a metal conductor. So here which is the metal conductor? The metal paper clip. Now touch the ends of the paper clip gently with hand and you will find a change in the foil strips. They come back to their original state. So why it happens? When you touch that metal paper clip, the charges are transferred to your body. That means aluminum foils do not receive any charges. So they come back to their original position. Repeat charging of foil strips and touching the paper clip. Every time you will find that the foil strips collapse as soon as you touch the paper clip with hand. Why does this happen? The reason is that the foil strips lose charge to the earth through your body. So what happens when you touch that metal paper clip, the charges which metal paper clip have, they get transferred to your body, and from your body they get transferred to the earth. That is nothing but earthing. We say that the foil strips are discharged. Here the word discharged means losing of charges. So here foil strips, they lose charges, they get discharged. The process of transferring of charge from a charged object to the earth is called earthing. So here when you touch the metal paper clip, exactly what is happening? The charges from metal paper clip, they pass through your body and reach the earth. So this process of transferring of charge from a charged object to the earth is called earthing. Earthing is provided in buildings to protect us from electrical shocks due to any leakage of electrical current. So you also might have seen one earthing wire. This earthing wire is connected to a copper plate which is buried deep inside the earth. Okay, so in our switchboard there are 3 wires. These 3 wires are live wire, neutral wire and earthing wire. Generally the live wire is red in color, then neutral wire is black in color and earthing wire is green in color. Now let us see the story of lightning. It is now possible to explain lightning in terms of the charges developed or produced by rubbing. Look at this figure 15.5. Accumulation of charges leading to lightning is shown. Here you can see the cloud is accumulated with positive charges, and here the another cloud is accumulated with negative charges, and here you can see the positive charges on the surface of earth. So let's discuss how this happens. You learned in class 7 that during the development of thunderstorm, the air currents move upward while the water droplets move downward. Isn't it? During the discussion about thunderstorm, we have discussed that air currents, they move in the upward direction, and whereas water droplets move in the downward direction. Now these vigorous movements cause separation of charges. So due to this movement, the charges get separated. By a process not yet completely understood, the positive charges collect near the upper edges of the clouds and the negative charges accumulate near the lower edges. So when these positive and negative charges get separated, all the positive charges, they get accumulated in the upper edges of the clouds, you can see here in this figure, and the negative charges get accumulated in the lower edges of the cloud, you can see it here. Why it is so? That is not yet fully understood. More research should be conducted on that. Okay. There is accumulation of positive charges near the ground also. Just now I showed you the figure. There is accumulation of positive charges near the ground also. When the magnitude of the accumulated charges becomes very large, the air, which is normally a poor conductor of electricity, is no longer able to resist their flow. Air is a poor conductor of electricity, means it does not allow the electric current to pass through it. But if the charges accumulated in the cloud becomes very large, then air cannot control their flow. Air cannot resist the flow of these charges. The negative and positive charges meet, they produce streaks of bright light and sound. So when these charges start flowing, they meet each other, negative and positive charges meet each other, and they produce streaks of bright light, and even sound is produced. So we see streaks as lightning. The process is called as an electric discharge. So lightning moves from sky to ground. So that is because of electric discharge. The process of electric discharge can occur between two or more clouds or between clouds and the earth. So this process of electric discharge means losing of charges takes place in between two clouds, or it also takes place in between cloud and earth. Today we need not get frightened by lightning like the ancient people did, isn't it? In the last session we discussed that in ancient people used to think that this lightning is the result of some anger of God, wrath of God is coming to visit them. But today we need not to get frightened, because now we have understood that it is just a natural phenomenon. Now we understand the basic phenomenon. Scientists are trying hard to improve our understanding. However, lightning strike could destroy life and property. So as it is a destructive phenomenon, if lightning causes, it destroys life as well as property. So it is therefore necessary to take measures to protect ourselves. So let's see lightning safety. Means what measures, what safety measures or what precautions we should take during the lightning. So our next concept is lightning safety. During lightning and thunderstorm, no open place is safe. Okay, so during the lightning as well as during the thunderstorm, open place is not safe. So hearing thunder is an alert to rush to a safer place. So as soon as you hear a thunder, you have to rush to a safer place. After hearing the last thunder, wait for some time before coming out of the safe place. So as soon as you hear a thunder, you have to go to a safe place, and when you hear the last thunder, after that immediately you should not come out of the safe place. You should wait there for some time and then you should come out of the safe place. Now what is a safe place? Let's see how to find a safe place. Finding a safe place. A house or a building is a safe place. Okay, so you have to rush to your house or in any building, nearby building. If you are traveling by car or by bus, then you are safe inside with windows and doors of the vehicles shut. Okay, so if suppose you are in open area, you can rush to the buildings or houses, but if suppose you are traveling in the car or bus, then you should be there only inside the car or bus. You have to close windows and doors of that vehicle. You have to shut those windows and doors, as these closed places are safe. If you get out of the vehicle, then open area, open place is not at all safe. Okay, now there are some do's and don'ts during the thunderstorm. So what you should do and what you should not do, they are called as do's and don'ts respectively. Now suppose you are outside. Okay, now open vehicles like motorbikes, tractors, construction machinery, open cars are all these not safe. Lightning can strike you if you are in the open space. So if you are on the vehicles like motorbikes or tractors, or at construction machinery, or your car is without roof, open cars, then these things are not safe. Similarly, open fields, tall trees, shelters in parks, elevated places do not protect us from lightning strokes. So even these open fields, tall trees, shelter in parks, elevated places, these are also not safe. These places do not protect us from lightning. Carrying umbrella is not a good idea at all during thunderstorm, because students, you might have seen umbrella means it has spokes made of metal, and metal is a good conductor of electricity, so it can catch that sparks. Those sparks it can catch, so it is not at all safe. So you should not carry umbrella during the thunderstorms. If in a forest, take shelter under shorter trees. So shorter trees are safer as compared to the taller trees. So if suppose you are in a forest area, then you have to take shelter under shorter trees. Now if suppose there is no shelter available at all and you are in an open field, then what should you do? Stay far away from all the trees. Stay away from the poles or any other metal objects. Do not lie on the ground. So if suppose you are in the open area and if suppose there are no houses, no buildings, etc., then what should you do? You have to stay away from tall trees or from any metal objects. You should not lie down on the ground also. Instead, squat low on the ground. Squat low on the ground means you have to sit in this position which is shown here in the figure 15.6. Place your hands on your knees. You can see here this boy is placing his hands on his knees and your head between the hands. You have to place your head in between the hands. So exactly in this position which is shown here in this figure you have to sit. This position will make you the smallest target to be struck. So all these safety precautions you have to take if you are in an open place. Now if suppose you are inside the house, then what precautions you should take? What should you do and you should not do inside the house? Lightning can strike telephone cords, electrical wires and metal pipes. Do you remember lightning is an electrical discharge? Means it discharges its charges. Electric charges get lost during the lightning and these charges can be acquired by the telephone cords, electrical wires or metal pipes. So these are not safe. During a thunderstorm, contact with these should be avoided. So you should avoid contact with telephone cords, electrical wires or any metal pipes or any other metal objects. It is safer to use mobile phones and cordless phones. So in these situations you should not use landline, as telephone cords are not safe. You can use mobile phones, you can use some cordless phones also. However, it is not wise to call up a person who is receiving your phone through a wired phone. Okay, suppose you have a mobile or cordless phone and you want to contact somebody, but if suppose that other person to whom you want to contact is using a landline phone, then it is not at all safe for that person. So you should not call up a person who is receiving your phone through a wired phone. Bathing should be avoided during thunderstorms to avoid contact with running water. Okay, so running water can also carry charges, so you should not take bath during the thunderstorms. Then next, electrical appliances like computers, televisions, etc. should be unplugged. As these are electrical appliances, they also absorb charges and may get damaged. So you have to unplug these appliances. Electrical lights can remain on. They do not cause any harm. So you can keep your lights on, but you have to unplug the electrical appliances like computers, televisions, tape recorders and any other electrical gadget. So that you have to do when you are in a house. Now let us discuss what is meant by lightning conductors. Lightning conductor is a device used to protect buildings from the effect of lightning. So we can say that lightning conductor is a safety device. It is used to protect the buildings from the effect of lightning. A metallic rod taller than the building is installed in the walls of the building during this construction. So see here in this figure, you can see this is a metallic rod, that is nothing but a lightning conductor. So how it is installed? It should be taller than the building, and this is installed in the walls of the building during the construction of the building itself. One end of the rod is kept out in the air and the other end is buried deep in the ground. Okay, so in this figure you can see this is the open end, it is just kept in the air. It receives the charges. It receives the charges and these charges flow, which is shown here in the figure, and the other end of this lightning conductor is connected to the copper plate which is buried deep inside the earth. Students, as you know that copper is also a metal and it is very good conductor of electricity. So whatever electric charges flow through this metallic conductor, they directly pass to the earth. This is a kind of earthing. So the rod provides easy route for the transfer of electric charge to the ground. Okay, so electric charges get a very easy route to pass and directly they go to the ground. They go to the copper plate which is there in deep inside the earth. The metal columns used during construction, electrical wires and water pipes in the buildings also protect us to an extent. Okay, so the different metal columns which are used during the constructions, metal rods, electrical wires as well as water pipes, they also protect us from lightning, but to a smaller extent. But do not touch them during a thunderstorm. So you should not touch the wet walls. Why? Because wet walls are good conductors of electricity. So you may get shock. The charges may develop through your body. So you should not touch during thunderstorms. So this is the figure of lightning conductor. So one end of this lightning conductor in the Y shape is kept open in the air, and through this end it receives the charges, and these charges flow through this path and then go to copper plate, and this copper plate is buried deep inside the earth. So this is all about lightning conductor. So students, we have discussed about lightning, what is meant by lightning. Then we have also discussed that by rubbing the different charges are developed. We have also discussed about types of charges. There are two types, they are positive and negative. Then we have discussed about transfer of charges, how the charges get transferred from a charged body to another body. Then we have discussed about the story of lightning, that it is nothing but the discharge of electricity, electrical discharge we can call it as. Then we have discussed about lightning conductor. Now this is all about lightning, which is a destructive phenomenon. We have also seen that how to get protection when you are outside in an open area and as well as when you are inside the house. Now let us move to the next, that is the second destructive phenomenon, that is earthquakes. Let us see what is earthquakes. You just learnt about thunderstorm and lightning. In class 7 you learnt about cyclones, isn't it? You have learnt about thunderstorm and cyclones in the last year, and now also we have discussed about thunderstorms and lightning. So these natural phenomena can cause large scale of destruction of human life and property. Fortunately, these phenomena can be predicted to some extent by weather department. The weather department can warn about the thunderstorm developing in some area, but there is another destructive phenomena called as earthquakes, which cannot be predicted. So as we cannot predict earthquakes, means we cannot take any preventive measures before the earthquakes. So it is more dangerous as compared to lightning. We will discuss about these earthquakes in the next session. We have discussed about lightning and we have seen that it is a destructive phenomena, and lightning is the result of flow of electric charges. Air is poor conductor of electricity. It resists the flow of charges which get accumulated in the clouds, but sometimes if the charges accumulated in the clouds are very large, then air also cannot resist. Then in that case the charges flow. The charges flow from one cloud to another cloud, or the charges flow from cloud to the earth. In both the cases lightning takes place. So students, here we have completed with this lightning concept. We will discuss about earthquakes in the next session. So just write down all important points, read the concepts. We will stop here today. Thank you.